Do you know the blockchain was supposed to destroy the banks? Bitcoin didn't break the traditional financial system. The financial system broke Bitcoin, and here I will tell you how. For over a decade, we've been sold a story that Bitcoin is our ticket out of a broken centralized financial system. It's a story of digital gold, a revolution created by the people, for the people. But what if that story isn't the whole truth? What if the promise of pure decentralization was more of a starting point than a final destination? Because in the years since its creation, powerful forces of centralization have crept in, creating a massive contradiction at the heart of Bitcoin. This isn't some secret conspiracy. It's a quiet, visible consolidation of power that's challenging Bitcoin's most fundamental ideal. The reason for creating Bitcoin was to ensure that the decentralized system would not be controlled by a single person or group holding all the power. And yet, from its earliest days, a concentration of power has been a part of Bitcoin's story. It wasn't Wall Street billionaires who first got rich, but a small, tech-savvy group of early adopters and miners. Back then, a handful of participants could mine thousands of coins using just basic hardware. While Bitcoin's public ledger makes it transparent, its anonymity makes tracing definitive ownership incredibly difficult. That was exactly the trap, a loophole for many, about what we will discuss now. Still, the evidence we have points to the same conclusion. Wealth was likely concentrated from the very beginning. This early distribution created a new kind of blockchain aristocracy, whose influence would only snowball over time. The phrase "money of the people" started off in the hands of a very select few. That early concentration wasn't a fluke. It set a pattern. Today, millions of people own Bitcoin, but a staggering amount of the wealth remains locked up with a tiny number of holders. It is just like the tip of an iceberg. While it's hard to pin down exact figures, research from institutions like the National Bureau of Economic Research has consistently shown deep wealth inequality. One analysis of the blockchain, for instance, suggested the top 10,000 individual investors, a tiny 0.01% of all holders, owned around 5 million Bitcoin. That's not decentralization, it's a digital oligarchy. This kind of wealth concentration translates directly into market-moving power, undermining the idea of a level playing field. In today's situation, some of the accounts can be responsible for a major shift in crypto. When a few wallets can trigger major market swings, the system starts to look a whole lot like the one it was meant to replace. We were told by this system that resources like gold, platinum, and diamonds are too fragile and we can't depend on them as investments. But in today's conditions, are they really more vulnerable than crypto? Then there's the code itself. The Bitcoin protocol is open source, which means anyone can pop the hood, review the code, and suggest changes. In reality though, a small group of core developers hold significant influence. These are the architects who maintain and update the software that most of the network relies on. On August 15, 2015, failing to reach any form of consensus over the issue of block sizes, a spin-off project was proposed. Frustrated by the reluctance expressed by the other Bitcoin developers to officially raise the block size limit, Hearn, 2015, two core developers, Gavin Andresen and Mike Hearn, released a new version of the Bitcoin client software, Bitcoin XT, with the latent capacity of accepting and producing an increased block size of 8 megabytes. The launch of Bitcoin XT proved highly controversial. It generated a considerable amount of debate among the core developers and eventually led to a full-blown conflict, which has been described as a civil war within the Bitcoin community. But perhaps the biggest twist in this story is Bitcoin's recent evolution. The very institutions Bitcoin was supposed to make obsolete are now its biggest players. As of mid-2026, giant asset managers like BlackRock and Fidelity are managing spot Bitcoin ETFs, holding over 1.2 million Bitcoin combined on behalf of their clients. That's nearly 6% of all Bitcoin in existence, locked up in vehicles that didn't even exist a few years ago. This isn't just adoption, it's a full-on integration with the traditional financial system. By 2026, institutional capital has become a primary driver of the market. Data from major exchanges and OTC desks shows institutional trading accounting for over 70 to 80% of total volume, a huge leap from just a few years ago. While this gives Bitcoin legitimacy, it's also a powerful centralizing force. Decisions made in corporate boardrooms now directly influence the price of what was originally designed as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The rebels have been welcomed into the palace. So, is Bitcoin's decentralization a lie? It's not that simple. Bitcoin is a study in contradictions. It still has genuinely decentralized features, a global, permissionless network that no single government can unilaterally shut down. The great deception, then, may not have been a deliberate lie. It might have been a naive hope, a belief that code alone could shield a system from the timeless forces of wealth, influence, and control. As Bitcoin gets woven deeper into the global financial fabric, we have to ask a critical question. If decentralization is a spectrum, not an absolute, what does that really mean for the future of our financial world? Think about it. If you're starting to see the tension between Bitcoin's promise and its reality, and you want more analysis that cuts through the hype, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We are really just getting started.